If you clicked on this video, you're probably thinking about leaving your job. Here's some key questions you should be asking yourself to determine if leaving your job is right for you. Hi, my name is Priscilla Martinez, founder of Regroop.org. For the best advice on managing your career, leveraging your time, and getting the life you want, subscribe to my channel for new videos every week. Now, let me be clear. It took me a very long time to determine that leaving my career was right for me. And there were many questions that I kept asking myself throughout the entire process that I wish I would have known beforehand, because I would have just focused there and it would have helped expedite the process along. So today I'm going to be sharing those 5 questions with you. So the first key question that I asked myself, and now I ask of my clients, is, are you having a company issue or an industry issue? When you're having a company issue, what you're experiencing is an issue directly with management, day-to-day tasks, the overall mission of the organization, or just something about the company's culture that doesn't fit right with you, that doesn't align with who you are, your philosophies, or just what you want to be doing day to day. When you're experiencing an industry issue, regardless of the company that you go to within that industry, you're finding more of the same. Sometimes the business is just what it is. And so regardless of your title in that company, your actual tasks, something about what the industry does, what the focus of the industry is, and what its mission is really geared towards, doesn't align, again, with who you are and what you're looking to do day to day. So regardless of the company that you go to, you're going to find just more and more of the same. The second question to ask yourself is, have you tried everything within your power? So meaning, have you had the conversations that you need to have with the right people? Have you introduced a new structure or system to help remedy some of the obstacles that you're facing? Have you done anything to kind of help push the culture of the company in a different direction? So anything that's within your power, have you exhausted all of those resources? The idea here is to ensure that you yourself are not an obstacle to the change that you want to see. So once you've tried everything, you can really tell yourself, you know what, I've done everything that I can do, and if nothing I'm trying is working, then maybe this is not the right company for me. But you want to make sure that you yourself are not hindering any of the progress you've made in that area. The third question, and probably one of the most important questions to ask, is, why are you still there? Why haven't you left already? If the answer is, it's a financial issue, you need the money, or, you don't see yourself doing anything else, or whatever the answer may be to that question, you really need to think about what that answer is so that you can start targeting solutions around it. So for example, for me, I closely defined who I was and my purpose through my job. To me, I was in the Department of Education for many years, and I felt that my work was important and that I was going to positively contribute to communities and people. And so for me, it was really hard to say I no longer wanted to do that anymore, because I felt I was no longer contributing in that kind of way. And if I wasn't in the Department of Education, if I wasn't an educator, then who was I? And I felt deeply like I couldn't walk away from something that I had invested so much time, energy, and not to mention tuition, right? I invested so much into this career, and to walk away, it was really, really difficult. So if you're closely defining yourself by your career and what you do, or you feel you've made too much of an investment, one of the things that helped me was to, realize that everything that I invested, all of my experiences, everything that I learned along the way, all of the struggles, all of the lessons, I take with me. I don't leave my experience on the table because I'm no longer at that specific job. You take your experience wherever you go, you move forward, it helps build, it layers who you are, and you're not just one job, you're not just one company, you're not just the one thing that you do. And it's very, very important to remember that you're taking everything with you, and it will apply. Promise you, it will apply somewhere else. So if you're struggling in that area, please know that I've been there, and the key was to realize that my experiences are my experiences, and they cannot be taken away because I'm no longer at a specific job. So I want you guys to take a moment and share with me the reasons you're staying at your current job. Are they financial? Are they, just the education you've invested? Is it that you're working with really great people and you don't want to leave specific colleagues? I've also experienced that in the past. Tell me why, share it below. Next question is, what would it take to be happy at your current job? Now, this question closely aligns to, have you tried everything within your power? And the reason for that is, once you are asking this and you're determining, okay, I need new colleagues. Well, you're not going to get new colleagues, right? That's not within your power, but it is within your power to help repair those relationships. So if that's the issue, you can say, have I done everything that I can do in that area with repairing the relationships with my colleagues? If the answer is, I need new management, that's not within your power, right? So maybe that's not the right place for you, because you really can't impact who your supervisors are. So it's a very, very important question, because it's going to help you determine whether or not you can impact the area that's, causing, some sort of issue for you. It can help you ask yourself whether or not you've exhausted all that you can do in those areas. And then it can help determine whether or not you need to move on if it's completely out of your hands. Next question is, if you quit your job, are your problems solved? Now, here's the thing. When you quit your job, you need to realize that you're creating potentially a whole other host of issues, right? You may be facing financial issues. You may have issues with just kind of structuring your time and figuring out what the next steps are going to be. You may have issues with kind of explaining that to yourself and everyone around you. Although you at this point would have given it a lot of thought, it's now sharing with other people who may not understand exactly what your plan is, and kind of facing that obstacle. Because trust me, people will have you thinking that you're absolutely crazy, that you've lost your mind, and that you have zero plan. And you have to have the self-assurance that you are doing the right thing, and you have to be really confident in those moments. So you need to be prepared for the other issues you are creating. So if they do not solve all of your problems, what are your problems, and how are you targeting those issues directly? So if it's not about the job, then what is it about? In the next video, we're going to talk about mini retirements. What are they? How can you plan for one? And do you really need one? Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you know when that comes out. So when I was asking myself this question, I realized that it was really an industry issue. There are a lot of policies in education and different things that I think just really didn't align with me. There was also the structure of what your day-to-day looks like. What I did was I tried different schools, and I found that while each school had a different culture, there was always something, even at the best school that I was at, there was always something that was just a little bit lacking for me. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And then I realized that what I really wanted in my day-to-day was flexibility and control. And I wanted to be able to dictate how I spend my day and how I can schedule my day. And I was in an industry where you could schedule out your day and then it goes nothing like your plan. And it's not to say that now I don't have times where the plan doesn't really flow the way I needed it to, but I'm in control and I can decide when I do things and how I do them. And that was really, really important for me. I realized that I was trying different things. I was being kicked down. I got back up, tried something else, didn't work. And I kept doing that for years. For years, I kept trying all of these different systems for myself, for other people, trying to connect to people. And it really felt like no matter how hard I worked, the 12-hour days, sometimes even longer than that, like no matter what I did, it wasn't working. And I realized that it was never going to work, because what was required was a collective effort from a group of people that weren't willing to put in that effort. And so I finally said, I can only control what I do. And so I took action for myself, because I literally found myself having to give myself a pep talk in the morning just to get up and go. I literally had to talk myself into getting up and going every single day. And so I realized that I had done everything that I could. I was confident in that. I felt good about that. And I was willing to kind of just put it down and say enough. And so you really have to think about whether or not you've done everything in your power. When I thought about what would make me happy at my current job, I realized that it could never be. The industry isn't structured in a way to allow for the flexibility that I was wishing that I had in my career. And so I didn't have the flexibility to control my time, to dictate how I did things and when I did things. And it just, wasn't for me. I really, honestly wanted to live a laptop life. I wanted to open up my laptop and work. And so that was really important for me. It was important for me to have the flexibility to pick up and go and travel and do. And, everyone dreams of that. It's not to say that, no one else dreams of it. Of course people dream of it. But for me, it was important to recognize that my job didn't even have a little bit of a potential for that. I needed to be at a specific location during specific hours, and that was all there was to it. And while I was there, I still couldn't plan my day because things would come up. Unexpected things would come up all of the time, and I couldn't control any of it. And so I felt like I was kind of victim to whatever happened that day, and I had to just figure out how to roll with those punches. And sometimes that causes a lot of anxiety.